item is the Rule 230C preliminary suitability presentation from the Rockford Casino applicant. So before we invite them to make their presentation, I want to spend a few minutes to explain and talk about the process of both how we got to this point and what the roadmap looks like for moving forward for this applicant and to the process that will apply to other applicants for casino owner licenses. So by way of brief background, Illinois' historic gaming expansion bill became law on June 28, 2019, the largest single expansion of gaming in Illinois and one of the largest single expansions of gaming in the country. It authorized 6 new casinos for Danville, Rockford, Waukegan, an applicant wholly or partially located in Bloom, Bremen, Calumet, Rich, Thornton, or Worth Township, 1 in Williamson County, and 1 in the city of Chicago. It authorized casino gaming at up to 4 racetracks, legalized sports wagering for the first time in Illinois, and permitted sports wagering at racetracks, casinos, online, mobile applications, and up to 7 sports facilities across the state, and it exponentially expanded video gaming offerings throughout the state. Regarding the newly authorized casino licenses, the gaming expansion law required the host communities to conduct a local application selection process that met certain requirements and allowed the host communities to select 1 or more applicants for board consideration at their discretion. Relevant to today's proceeding, the City of Rockford conducted its own local process to vet potential applicants, and through that process, Rockford selected the current applicant, 815 Entertainment LLC, doing business as Hard Rock Casino, Rockford. Per the Illinois Gambling Act, the Rockford City Council certified the casino application and certified that Rockford and the applicant satisfied certain statutory requirements. Once Hard Rock Casino Rockford submitted its application to the gaming board, board staff in the licensing, investigations, financial analysis, and legal units began the necessary work to process, review, investigate, and vet the application and the numerous individuals and entities associated with it. We all understand the importance of the new casinos to Rockford and to the other host communities involved and to the applicants themselves. We, like all of them, want to get the process right. And that process is established in the Illinois Gambling Act and the board's rules for casino gambling. Specifically, Board Rule 230 lays out the steps in the licensure process. Relevant to today is the finding of preliminary suitability, which is found under Rule 230C. Rule 230C1 provides that an applicant for an owner's license shall present to the board in a public meeting the reasons it is suitable for licensure. That is the process, or the step in the process, that is before us today. Rule 230C2 tells us the factors that the board will consider in assessing preliminary suitability. And I quote, "An applicant must satisfy the board by clear and convincing evidence that the applicant, A, has met those requirements of Section 7 of the Illinois Gambling Act, B, is a person or entity whose background, reputation, and associations will not dishonor or harm the reputation of or result in adverse publicity for the state of Illinois and its gaming industry, C, has adequate business competence and experience to be a holder of an owner's license, and D, has demonstrated that the proposed funding of the entire operation shall be adequate for the nature of the proposed operation and be from a suitable source, and E, has satisfied the board as to any other information deemed necessary for licensure." Rule 230 continues in 230C3, which provides, after presentation by the applicant, the board shall determine whether to find the applicant preliminarily suitable for licensure. Notably, Rule 230C3, or any portion of Rule 230, does not contain a temporal requirement for the board to vote. To ensure a thoughtful and deliberative process, and to ensure that the board is fully able to study and consider Hard Rock's presentation and materials, the board will not take a vote today on preliminary suitability. Instead, and pursuant to an appropriate motion, the board will convene in closed session on February 4th to consider this matter and will hold a special open session on February 4th at 3 p.m. This process is solely intended to provide the board the necessary time to consider this matter in a fair and orderly fashion, including the presentation that we're all about to hear in a few minutes. It is not intended and should not be interpreted or viewed as a reflection or statement about the merits of this particular applicant or a preview of the board's thinking about any issue other than the importance of a full and fair consideration of the applicant's preliminary suitability determination. We imagine that a similar process will adhere in future preliminary suitability proceedings. Finally, it is important for everyone to understand that preliminary suitability is just that, preliminary. It is no guarantee of final licensure. While a significant step, it is not the end, and the outcome is not a mere formality. Indeed, Rule 230E identifies the factors the board is to use to assess before making a determination of final suitability. Rule E1A12 provides that the board may consider information received subsequent to the preliminary finding of suitability concerning the applicant and its key persons. That necessarily means that after today, the board will continue its work and assessment, particularly any new information that it may receive or any additional information that may be disclosed pursuant to the applicant's ongoing obligation to update its application and provide any updates regarding new information or new financing, new key persons, etc. Additionally, Rule E1A15 provides that the board may consider such other matters as the board may require. So with that housekeeping out of the way, it's my privilege to turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman, or to the applicant for its presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Fruchter. I believe Mr. John Lucas, are you the individual who's going to make the presentation?
Mr. Fisher will be starting, and then he will hand it over to Mr. Lucas. So, Mr. Fisher, you should, if you haven't seen it already, you should shortly be seeing the option to share audio and video.
Thank you. And I would ask that anybody that speaks identify themselves by name and position, please. But Mr. Fisher, please go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Schmedeke, members Ramirez, Hayden, and Garcia, Administrative Fruchter, and staff. My name is Dan Fisher, and I'm the managing member of 815 Entertainment, the applicant for an owner's license to develop and operate a casino in Illinois. I want to thank the Gaming Board for the opportunity to introduce and present our project today. I'd first like to acknowledge the efforts the Gaming Board staff displayed during the current health crisis. Under direction of Administrator Fruchter, the IGB staff has been amazing to work with and continue to work with us, whether it's Zoom calls, teleconferences, or other. All collective dedication demands mention their effort, professionalism, and commitment to the people of Illinois must be recognized. Mr. Chairman, you should be proud of your staff. We are thankful and incredibly humble to have been chosen by the City of Rockford after concluded a very thorough RFP process. While preparing our initial application, we reached out to the community to see what aspects of the project were important to the citizens of Rockford and surrounding communities. In my opinion, 815 had a distinct advantage working with Hard Rock, who had a significant amount of experience developing community agreements that creates value to its beneficiaries. 815 is proposing a $310 million development project that includes a temporary gaming facility open to within 90 days after final approval. Revenues are expected to exceed $150 to $180 million, creating over 1,200 construction jobs, along with 800 to 1,000 permanent living wage jobs. This project is expected to produce $282 million of economic output annually. Our group is proud to say that over 40% of the equity capital is coming from women, minority persons, that far exceed the aspirational statutory goals required. In the near future, with the Gaming Board's approval, a diverse group of local individuals, along with Hard Rock International's ownership through a subsidiary, hope to become owners of 815 and licensees of the Illinois Gaming Board. 815 received overwhelming support of Rockford and the surrounding community. The idea of a Hard Rock facility in partnership with local rock and roll Hall of Fame star Rick Nielsen of the band Cheap Trick creates a powerful combination that will forever ingrain the power of music, entertainment, and excitement in this project. The proposed site of the project is the former Clock Tower Resort. The Hard Rock brand will transform this iconic piece of property that has local historical significance, tremendous visibility, and access from I-90 with nearly 70,000 cars per day. Hard Rock has a unique focus on entertainment that drives an electric environment within the property and will reach well beyond the borders of Illinois. As indicated, the City of Rockford conducted a thorough and exhaustive selective process, whereby our project, the Hard Rock Casino, Rockford, was selected by City Council and submitted to the board. As a part of the Rockford process, 815 negotiated a host community agreement. This agreement, we commit the following within: best efforts to provide and preserve employment opportunities, continue economic growth by supporting and promoting local businesses, including minorities, women, persons with disabilities, and veteran-owned business enterprises, attract new and commercial industrial enterprises, promote existing enterprises, support and promote tourism in the city and the state, and provide additional tax revenue. Our partnership will use best efforts to achieve these goals in accordance to the host community agreement. First, we will focus on persons residing in or businesses located within the City of Rockford for these opportunities. Then, those persons residing in or businesses located within the County of Winnebago, Illinois. And finally, those persons or businesses residing within the State of Illinois. 815 has agreed to provide career development programs, including on-the-job training and apprenticeships, internships aimed at recruiting, retaining, and promoting opportunities, as well as conducting training for all businesses that are selected to do work for the project. 815 has agreed to a creation of an oversight entity to determine reporting requirements, to monitor compliance and employment of the business opportunities described within the host community agreement. Hard Rock International and this partnership is committed to making a difference in Illinois. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Hard Rock International to the Illinois Gaming Board, the Illinois gaming industry, and I'm happy to turn it over to Mr. John Lucas, Chief Operating Officer of Hard Rock International. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Chairman, members of the board, gaming board staff, good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to present to you today. We appreciate this opportunity to give you a better understanding of Hard Rock, who we are and what we're about. And we will talk a little bit about the project that we have planned in hopes that, as Dan said, we are afforded the privilege of operating a casino in the great state of Illinois. So with that, I will start my presentation. Assuming I can. Can everybody see that presentation?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So I'd like to just talk a little bit about the keys to success, and Dan touched on some of these. The global brand and destination entertainment. We have a great global awareness, which I'll talk about a little later, an exciting, sophisticated, energetic entertainment and lifestyle brand, a world-class management team with a lot of experience, and an extensive jurisdictional licensing, which I'll talk a little bit more specifically about shortly. Secondly, diversity and corporate social responsibility. We will talk about that as well a little later. You'll see we've won some awards for our leadership in diversity, MBE contractor and purchasing initiatives, and Dan touched on a little bit of that. I'll talk more specifically about how we will accomplish that, and then a culture of compliance and responsibility. Third is the project and the investment. The temporary facility, we would anticipate a $65 million investment, and then the permanent would be a $310 million investment, as Dan touched on. Direct interstate access on I-90, a great location. One of the things that is a hallmark of Hard Rock is multiple non-gaming amenities. We believe in creating destination resorts, entertainment facilities, and it's more than just slots and tables or gaming in a box. We like to have a lot of amenities, non-gaming, and I think that's one of the differentiators to our brand. A shovel-ready site and the hiring of local firms and local jobs, and we've identified local firm to head it up already, and I'll touch on that shortly. Significant local impact and job creation, higher economic benefit than the downtown site that was considered, and a higher local tax contribution. And Dan touched on the host community agreements that will give us some targets and some initiatives as it relates to minority hiring, workforce development, et cetera. A strong local community partnership with Rick Nielsen and the family, as Dan mentioned, partnership with Rockford Park District, the 815 Hard Rock Foundation, which is a philanthropic arm that we have created, and local financing partners. And then financing, we have strong financial sponsor support, a highly confident letter from Credit Suisse, and strong credit statistics. A global brand, and we like to call this our set list, just to give you an idea. I won't read all of these numbers, but we have 240 branded Hard Rock venues. That includes cafes, retail, or rock shops, as we like to call them, Hard Rock Live venues, hotels, casinos, and hotel casinos. We are in 69 countries, so we're worldwide, 6.2 billion in system-wide revenues, and around 50,000 system-wide employees through our franchisees, licensees, and our own facilities. Over on the right, we have 33 hotels. That's 24 freestanding hotels, 9 casino hotels, and then we have 12 casinos. 9 of those are hotel casinos and 3 are just casinos. One of our prized pieces on this list is the 86,000 priceless memorabilia, largest music memorabilia collection in the world. Probably half of it is out in our facilities. The other half is in a fascinating warehouse that we have here in South Florida. And then pre-COVID, obviously, and hopefully post-COVID, live music events. We do about 35,000 events annually, and obviously COVID has impacted that. Brand awareness. We have 80% global brand awareness. This is an independent research that we use, market research company that does it every couple of years. And this shows, obviously in the US, we are 90% the highest, but UK, where the brand originated, was 88%. I'm not gonna read them all, but it's obviously a universal brand that is recognized worldwide. I'd like to share a video, and hopefully this will play. Alicia will let me know if it doesn't.
It was a cool idea then, you know, and it's a cool idea now.
The Hard Rock Cafe was a first-classless restaurant in the UK.
The Beatles were over there, and they were the Stones.
And then one day, a taxi came in. We gave Isaac Tiger, one of our founders, a guitar.
been so supportive over the years, being that it's charity and it's for a great cause. I'm really, really happy that I'm collaborating with the Hard Rock.
With the help of Hard Rock International, I hope to really continue to make a difference.
Is actually going to have an effect directly on families that have a child with cancer.
This means that we'll be able to serve 150 children over the next year.
Thank you for indulging in that video. More than brand awareness is brand relevance. And what brand relevance really does is it drives brand premium. And brand relevance is when you have people that are promoting your brand. We do this through celebrity, memorabilia, music, philanthropy, and media. You see 3 pictures here, or 4 pictures. Rihanna, which you saw in the video, Shakira over to the right, Pitbull in the center. When we announced our naming rights for Hard Rock Stadium, Pitbull showed up on his own for free, just based on our relationship. And of course, that created incredible amounts of marketing impressions and brand ad value, as you can see the numbers up there on the left. Up top right is the first piece of memorabilia. That was a guitar given to us by Eric Clapton. So one guitar turned into 86,000 pieces, pretty amazing. What Rihanna has there is the Signature Artist Series, which is a series where we sell T-shirts with various artists and donate the money. The proceeds go to Hard Rock Heals as well as their foundation of their choice. So one of the other philanthropic things that we do. And we are a leader in philanthropy and collaborations with musicians, charities, the Tyler Robinson Foundation. You saw that in the video, Imagine Dragons. We worked with them on that particular project. Why Hunger, Yoko Ono, and then Breast Cancer Research Foundation, Red Cross, and so many others, but these are just a few of those. Brand impact. This is an independent study done by the Innovation Group, which is one of the leading consultants in the industry. Just did some research, independent research. Adding the Hard Rock brand to a casino would have a 16% positive impact on gaming revenues. 57% of respondents living 101 to 150 miles said they would take a gambling trip to a potential Hard Rock casino, compared to 37% otherwise, which is over a 50% increase over the non-Hard Rock casino, and then 39% would increase their current trips. We have seen both on the hotel side and casino side where if we take the brand and put it on, the results have been incredible, and we've also seen when the brand comes off that it tends to trend downward, and those are real-life examples that we have of those. Global casino strategy. We have up here 16 projects. 12 of them are up and running. 4 of them are in development stages at various points, including Rockford, Tejon, California, Northern Indiana, and Barcelona would be the 4. But you can see it's a variety of projects. Many of them are regional in nature, similar to what we anticipate Rockford if we are fortunate enough to get the license. And then developments in 2018, 2019, we took over the old Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, converted it to a Hard Rock, 4 million square feet of space there, opened that in June of 2018. Then Sacramento, California, we opened that project in October of 2019. It has been wildly successful. Hollywood, Florida was a $1.5 billion expansion of the Hard Rock down there, adding the guitar-shaped hotel, which is obviously an iconic symbol of our brand and certainly has gotten worldwide coverage and an amazing water feature there. And then Tampa, Florida, our Hard Rock there had an $800 million expansion. And then as we move forward, I just touched on these four projects, about $3+ billion in Hard Rock Casino project pipeline. Tejon is a tribe in California that is just south of Bakersfield, which the federal government or BIA has just approved that particular project. So we're excited to hopefully have a shovel in the ground next year. Barcelona, Spain, we continue to work with the Catalonian government. That one has some height restrictions. That's why you see the guitar-shaped hotel on its side. And then Northern Indiana, Gary, we are under construction, anticipate opening that property in the spring of 2021, just in a few months. And then, of course, Rockford, Illinois, we will go through some of the plans of what we have in store should we be awarded a license, and we'll talk about that later in the presentation. Hard Rock Ottawa and Hard Rock Cincinnati, these are two projects that we have. We took over Ottawa in September of 17, Hard Rock Cincinnati in September of 19. We are in the process of rebranding them and converting them to Hard Rocks. Ottawa is a $270 million conversion and expansion of the existing Rito Carlton Raceway Casino. And then the Hard Rock Cincinnati, we have a $40 million conversion of the current, well, it's not really a Jack Casino anymore, but that's what it was. And we're converting that to a Hard Rock Casino. That particular project is underway and anticipate that being done by late spring of 2021. Ottawa, the Ontario government, the province of Ontario, very conservative up there as it relates to COVID. So we are currently closed and have been closed since last March. Once we get back up and running, we will again restart the conversion and expansion of that particular property. Destination entertainment. We talked a lot about the live music events. Contrary to some people's perception of the brand, it's not just about rock and roll and heavy metal rock. It's about all genres of music, whether that's Bocelli, Jay Leno, Kenny Chesney's in the middle of that picture, Kiss, and lots of entertainment. It's very important to us. It's in our DNA, and it's just part of the fabric of the Hard Rock brand. And then celebrity appearances. I'm not going to name them all, but Journey up top there, and Yoko Ono, Bruce Springsteen. The bottom right picture with Morgan Freeman and the rest of that crew was for the grand opening of the guitar-shaped hotel this past October. And then the management team, which I touched on at the beginning of the presentation. Jim Allen's our chairman. He has 40 years of experience in gaming and hospitality. Myself, I've been in over 30 years of experience in hotels, casinos, restaurants. John Eater is our EVP and CFO. We have Ed Tracy, who handles our Hard Rock Asia, but you can see this, the experience of this group. Jeff Hook, our CMO. Tracy Bradford is our EVP of Administration. And then Ilkem Hinser, who is in here with me in the room, is our EVP and Chief Legal Officer. Joe Emanuel handles the design and development. And Sean Caffrey is our Senior VP of Business and Casino Development. So talk a little bit about the company growth and awards. This is just a quick slide to show you from 07 to 19 where we've taken the company. You can see that the focus has really been on growing the hotel and casino division and really trying to diversify the portfolio. Something we're very proud of, J.D. Power is a very prestigious award. In 19 and 20, we won Upper Upscale Hotel Best for Guest Satisfaction. We're very, very proud of it. Service is an extremely important piece to who we are and what we do. It's a differentiator that sets us apart from the competition, and we can say we get it validated with awards like this. That's the customer telling us that. In addition, Global Gaming Awards, the Land-Based Operator of the Year in 2018, 2020, and also Property of the Year at Hard Rock in Hollywood, Hard Rock Hollywood, and the Guitar-Shaped Hotel. These awards are from the Global Gaming Conference that's held. It's the largest and most prestigious of all the gaming industry trade shows. So we're very, very proud of those awards as well. And then leading employer. So Forbes has given us in 19 the America's Best Large Employers, and in 20 the best employer for women, and then in 20 as well the best employer for diversity. And I'll talk a little bit more about diversity in just a minute. And the lady pictured there is Rita Gilligan. She is Hard Rock's very first employee. Believe it or not, she is still with us. She just announced her retirement. She's obviously not serving guests in the cafe in London anymore. She's a brand ambassador, and she is an incredible brand ambassador with an amazing amount of energy. And hopefully we'll have her in Rockford for the grand opening there, should we be awarded a license. Diversity, COVID-19, and corporate social responsibility. I mentioned that I was going to talk a little bit more specifically about diversity. Obviously, with that award, we're doing some things, but we have just recently hired a Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. She brings with her an amazing amount of experience developing programs for some of the top gaming and hospitality companies and other companies, and she will lead the advancement of our diversity initiatives and movement, as we call it, and the Rockford Diversity Participation Requirements in the Host Community Agreement will be one of her primary initial initiatives. Some of the actions that we took, we chose to not make a statement with all of the social injustice and the issues happening around the country. We started doing roundtables with our Black and African American employees in the U.S. and had several groups, and we expect our new SVP to pick that program up and expand it worldwide. And we were the lead sponsor assisting in the Play On benefit concert. I don't know if any of you saw that on TV, raising $7 million, benefiting the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund, as well as Why Hunger. Goals for 2021 and beyond, it's really a six-pronged attack. Develop a recruitment strategy that increases minority applicant pool and hiring of mid-senior level management positions. Develop a targeted professional development program for upwardly mobile minority team members. Deploy a hiring bias awareness training across the organization. Work with our host communities to establish relationships with minority organizations as we go into various jurisdictions and various cities. We would expect her to be out front identifying organizations to partner with to help with some of these initiatives. Coordinate with our global purchasing department to further the inclusion of MBE vendors, and then further develop Hard Rock's culture of enabling diversity, equality, and inclusion throughout the company. So we're very excited about this initiative and this person coming on board, and it's just going to take us to the next level as it relates to diversity and inclusion. On our next page, Safe and Sound, this was our safety program addressing the guidelines and protocols as it related to the COVID-19 issue, 150-page document that we put together, and we have been recognized by numerous jurisdictions as being the role model and the leader, and those are quotes from Ohio Gaming Commission that said that, actually, and other jurisdictions. We are committed to the guest and our team members staying safe and sound. We do temperature checks for every guest, team member, and vendor. Social distancing markers, signage, mandatory masks. So, when this first rolled out, some states did not have mandatory masks, but we implemented that, and we have what I like to call mask police that go around. If you're not wearing your mask, you're asked to leave, or you're told to leave. We don't even ask. We have plexiglass installed at table games, front desk, check-in areas, all guest-facing positions. And at the table games, we actually have plexiglass in between the customers. Increased cleaning and disinfecting frequency, and you can see the yellow shirts. Those shirts are worn throughout the company. In all of our properties, it's called the Clean Team. And we do an independent assessment by NSF. We audit all of our properties throughout the world on a regular basis, and they're required to pass a rigorous 262-point inspection, and that's an ongoing project with NSF as our third-party implementer of that. Current and former gaming licenses held by Seminole Hard Rock Holdings. I'm not going to read all these, but you can see that we have been licensed in numerous jurisdictions, both as a company and as our senior management. And we think that this speaks to our suitability. It speaks to our commitment to compliance and regulatory matters. And I won't read them all. You will have, I assume, a copy of the presentation, and you can read it at your convenience. And then we feel that we're leaders in corporate social responsibility. Paul Pellizzari is our VP of Global Social Responsibility. Again, I'm not going to read all of these, but we've received numerous awards, as has Paul. We actually identified Paul when we were going for our license in Ottawa. He was working with the Canadian government overseeing their social responsibility. He was so impressive, we ended up talking to him and ultimately hiring him to head up our social responsibility initiatives, and we were glad to have him on board. And then the culture of compliance at SGA and Hard Rock International. Hard Rock established a compliance review and reporting system in 2013. While we are privately held, we really operate in many ways as a public company, meaning we have a board of directors, we have a corporate governance, compliance, and compensation committee, we have an audit committee. So Michael Rumboltz, who heads up the compliance committee, is a board member also. He is the former chairman of the Nevada Gaming Commission, currently with Every as a vendor, and he's well respected in the industry. We also created the position of compliance officer. Ilkem Hinser, our chief legal officer, heads up the compliance division, and he has extensive experience in that world. And then again, I won't read all those things. The Hard Rock culture of compliance includes a variety of training that we implement. Each property does a compliance committee meeting quarterly, monthly, but then there's a quarterly one, which I actually attend all of those. And we submit those to the corporate compliance, governance, and compensation committee for review on a quarterly basis as it coincides with our board meetings. The project itself and the investment, and Dan Fisher touched on some of the investment numbers and employment numbers, but the temporary facility, $65 million in investment, operational within 90 days after granting of a license to Hard Rock, estimated to be open approximately 18 to 24 months, depending on construction and permitting and approvals. We've identified the location at the current site of Giovanni's Restaurant and Convention Center, right in Rockford, and right about 2 blocks away from the permanent, so that's convenient. We identified 588 total slots at opening. That's approximate based on COVID and the guidelines and protocols that are in place in the state of Illinois. It may go up or down based on what's needed and what the status is of COVID-19. Then the permanent project overview, $310 million in investment, 800 to 1,000 permanent living wage jobs, and over 1,200 temporary construction jobs. High quality product offering. We'll have 1,500 slots, 55 tables, some retail space, a 1,600 seat entertainment venue, 40,000 square feet of food and beverage, and lots of traffic that goes by on the interstate daily, which is exciting. In the Rock Shop, we'll partner with Karen Nielsen, and Rick Nielsen obviously will be featuring a lot of his signature merchandise that's branded. We're excited about that partnership, as well as the partnership that we have with Dan Fisher and the group that he has assembled for the equity portion of it. This was touched on earlier, but just a quick overview. There's the temporary casino site and the permanent casino site. And as you can see, it's a mere 2.5 blocks away. Site layout, and this is preliminary, just showing around the perimeter a fresh harvest buffet or a food hall. Again, depending on COVID, we may change that buffet to a food hall, and a Hard Rock Cafe, and sports and entertainment, which will be actually married with the cafe and the Hard Rock Bar for sports book. And then the Council Oak Steakhouse in the top right, you can see that it's kind of spread all around the casino to get a good flow through the property. Hard Rock Live, I mentioned 1,600 seat capacity. It'll be best in class AV technology, great concerts and internationally known artists as well as local and regional, leading headliner performances, a proven differentiator in our regional markets. Aerial view of the property, permanent, you'll see the little closer up look of the Rick Nielsen guitar, his signature checkered guitar. Main entry drive view. Here's the main casino and what we like to call our yellow brick road down the center of it, which leads to the cafe and the Hard Rock Center Bar. This is the center bar here, Hard Rock Cafe. Plum Lounge, which is our private VIP lounge for our top tier customers. High limit table game area. This is our Council Oak Steakhouse. Our noodle bar. And then community leadership. And we mentioned our partnership with Rick Nielsen and his involvement. We're excited about that. The local organizations and charities, Dan Fisher touched on this, but 815 Hard Rock Foundation, Rockford Park District, and some of the other support that we'll provide. Winnebago County, Loves Park, McChesney Park, and as I've mentioned, that part of our fabric is the philanthropic piece of it. Host community agreement and local hiring. I'm not going to read all of these, just we have that agreement to involve local contractors, local subcontractors, trade unions, et cetera, and commitments to help the city fund key areas that are important to the city. Leadership training program. So one of the other programs that we have that's been extremely successful for us is the Hard Rock Women in Leadership program. You know, if you look at our workforce in a broad sense, we have a great representation from a diversity standpoint, from a male-female, from a minority standpoint. It's when you start looking at the various layers where, you know, at the senior level, the VP level, and so we have an initiative in place, Women in Leadership, which is really about mentoring, and obviously the senior VP of diversity will also work to develop that program for not just women, but for minorities as well. And we have had great success in this and made great progress in this area, and we will continue to work on that and develop that. School of Hard Rock is an e-learning program that offers managers an opportunity to learn more about the brand and sharpen the managerial skills. And then Walk This Way is a very cool 3-day in-depth management training program that really educates the managers on Hard Rock's culture and standards. And it's really important for those that work for Hard Rock to embrace those cultures and that culture and those standards. So we do that through the Walk This Way program. Financing, touched on a little bit. Hard Rock is an investment grade rating from 2 of the 3 rating agencies, so we're very proud of that. And here's some recent financings. The Hard Rock Sacramento, $450 million senior note, and we're about to refinance that one in the next few months already, based on our success there. Hard Rock Northern Indiana was a $375 million term loan B. Hard Rock Cincinnati, we partnered with Vici for REIT financing and the OpCo acquisition. And then Hard Rock International, $640 million term loan A for corporate refinancing. And lastly, just to summarize why Hard Rock, and we feel there's a strong local partners, collaboration of key stakeholders, leveraging the global awareness of the Hard Rock brand and the world-class management team, and our ability to be licensed in multiple jurisdictions, investing $310+ million, aligning the vision with the city, and we feel that we are in alignment with the city, strong economic impact, as Dan Fisher touched on, and then increased value to Rockford via regional entertainment destination at the optimum location. And with that, I'll open it if anybody has any questions for any of our team.
Thank you, Mr. Lucas and Mr. Fisher. I appreciate your comments about diversity and inclusion, and particularly the comment about that 40% of the equity is currently held by women and minorities. I was wondering if you could highlight for me 815 efforts in the particular target market regarding diversity and inclusion. I appreciate your overall activity with the Hard Rock, but I'm interested in what we're talking about for the Rockford, Winnebago, and Northwestern Illinois area.
I think I can take that question if you have me.
Thanks, Dan.
Yep. So I just pulled the page from our host community agreement here, Chairman Schmedeke, and kind of like I laid out in my statement, where we're starting with, kind of first tier opportunities being located residents or businesses within the city of Rockford, and then second tier would be residents or businesses within Winnebago County, and then residents or businesses within the state of Illinois. We drive down a little bit further, and that city of Rockford employment opportunities are really at 50%, local businesses utilization at 50%, women or minority-owned businesses employment 45%, business utilization 5%, veteran or veteran-owned, minority and minority-owned businesses 25% employment and 25% business utilization, veteran or veteran-owned business 5% employment, 3% business utilization, person of disability or business-owned persons of DBE, 5% employment, and 2% business utilization.